Okay, guys, quiz over. Here's a short lesson on calculator usage, and can do this in one problem. Okay, you will want a calculator for this worksheet, and here's what it looks like. Okay, and okay, what you'll see, if I can get a little closer. All right, problems like this, where you're given a chart of data. This one, let's see, a student who waits on tables at a restaurant recorded the cost of meals and the tip left by single diners. And again, there's the goodness. I never get to eat at places that cheap. My goodness. But there's what the meal cost. All right. And the tip they left. And then it says if the next diner orders a meal costing $10.50, how much tip should the waiter or waitress expect to receive? So we're going to find the equation and the tip amount left. And here's how we do it. Okay, again, this is calculator. So first thing I want you to do is go to stat edit, bang, and all the amounts for the meals go in list 1, and in list 2 those are all the tips. Okay, so that's step 1. Stat edit, enter your data. Okay, now I'd sure like to see this data, so I go second y equals, and it gives me a stat plot, which if I hit enter, I can now turn on or off. I can change what lists it pulls from. Of course, what we just put all the meals in L1 and the tips in L2. So that's what I'm using. But anyway, we turn it on by hitting enter. And then this is key. Go zoom niner. And what is that? It says zoom stat. And what it does is it makes your window to accommodate the data points. So there's our 5 meals with the cost on the bottom and the tip going up. All right, so what are we going to do next? Now that we can see that it's kind of a linear pattern, all right, we will quit figuratively. All right, and now we're going to go back to stat, but we're going to the middle column. All right, and we're going to pick the best fit line. So that's number 4 here. Okay, now what unit are we in? That's right, the quadratics. So if you saw a parabolic pattern there, maybe you pick number 5, okay, for the best fit quadrilateral. I mean, quadratic. Okay, number 6, that's your best fit squiggly, cubic, and on and on and on. Okay, later in the year we'll get to this number 9, the best fit log, and so forth. Okay, but we're going to hit right now number 4, and it tells us to pull from list 1 and 2. Okay, now you don't have to do this, but it'll save you time and headache. Store regression equation, it's called. So now I'm going to go to alpha F4, and it lets me pick which y equals I want to put it in. I guess number 1. Okay, so I'll hit that and then calculate. There it is. Okay, so my rule all year long, 1 decimal place accuracy. So for your full credit here, you would write y equals what? 0.2 for A, so 0.2x, and then it's B is negative 0.3, we'll say. Okay, so 0.2x minus 0.3. And if I can execute this and remember what I said, okay, what was it? 0.2x minus point. Oh, garbage. And 0.3. Okay, we'll pretend that's a decimal point. Gets worse. Okay, now we expect the tip on a meal that costs $10.50 to be somewhere right in here between the $6.84 meal and the $12.52. So it better be, I don't know, a little over $1 maybe, less than $1.50. All right, so we go back to the calculator. All right, and since I told it to store this equation in y equals, check it out. There it is in all its glory with that lengthy decimal, unrounded. And better yet, when I hit graph, I don't see just the dots. I get that best fit line. Okay, and the last stop, we want to know what kind of tip this waiter waitress should expect from $10.50. So here's your last step. Second, trace, and this number one value. Okay, now look, minimum and maximum. All right, that's the vertex on your parabola if you need to find that using a calculator. And number two, even though it says 2, it's a 0. Those are your x-intercepts, your answers, your solutions. Okay, so anyway, hit number 1, and now you can type in whatever you want, 10.5, 1050. But one thing you got to make sure of, go to your Winder and make sure that your X-min, X-max will accommodate, in this case, $10. It's in there. Okay, if it was outside of the max, you'd have to, make that higher, as well as probably the Y max. But since 10 fits between 3 and 21, we're good to go. So again, back to value, type in 10.5, and it should give you the location on the graph and the answer. Okay, which I can move this. Yep. Bang. Is 1.348, but let's go dollars and cents. And heck, let's round up for this poor person here. $1.35. That is our answer. $1.35. Okay. And that's how you do it. Now, every once in a while, you're going to have one that wants you to find not the X, but the Y. And how are you going to do that? Like, let's say, for instance, the tip was $7. And they want to know how much did that meal cost in the first place. Okay, now you'd put this 7 in here and you'd solve for X like we've done so many times this year already. Okay. And that is that. All right, guys, if I don't have the calculators out, holler at me. And, again, you will want to use either your own or one of mine for this worksheet. Okay. And before we leave this worksheet altogether, let's flip it over. There we go. And more of the same. Really, the only thing I need to make sure you understand is we had one that looked like this. Okay, whoops. Right, that one we just did had that pattern to it. Well, that's a positive slope, so that would be your positive correlation B. All right, negative right here, and this chicken pox over here, which gosh, you guys probably don't even know what that means. We all used to get that when we were kids. But this random pattern has no correlation. Okay, good times. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, the rest of this you should be okay with. That'll do. All right, guys, enjoy.